You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
A few moments later.
LA mayoral candidate and real estate developer Rick Caruso criticizing the city's response to the windstorm and fires. He says officials should have been more prepared.
The real issue to me is twofold. We've had decades to go remove the brush in these hills that spread so quickly. And the second is you got to have water. And my understanding is the reservoir was not refilled in time and in a timely manner to keep the hydrants going. So that's a failure, whether on DWP's part or another city agency. But this is basic stuff. This isn't high science here. And it's all about leadership and management that we're seeing a failure of. And all of these residents are paying the ultimate price for that.
Despite what you have heard from Caruso, no firefighters have told us that they are running out of water.
And let's go out to Gigi Graciette. She is live in Pacific Palisades. I know your signal's not the best, but Gigi, what can you tell us?
Well, firefighters have told me they have no water on this block, and you may be able to make out the ember storm that we're in the middle of right now. This house going to be a total loss. They have no water to put on this fire. They are standing by because they're trying to save the home that is next to it.
All right, guys, so we have to continue our coverage of the disaster that is happening out in Los Angeles, California, that has put on full display the incompetence of the Democrat Party, okay? The world is saying that Democrats simply do not know how to govern, okay? And the people that are losing everything are finding out the hard way that maybe, just maybe, they probably should have voted a little bit differently, and they had multiple times to do so. Like, for example, when it comes to recalling Gavin Newsom, they had a chance to get rid of him, but they didn't, okay? And some of these same individuals are now confronting Gavin Newsom in panic over the fact that their kid lost their school to the wildfire, and some of their family friends have lost everything, including their homes, due to these wildfires that were largely preventable. However, because of Democrat mismanagement of the forest water resources, despite the warnings from Republicans and people like Trump, unfortunately, again, they lost everything unnecessarily, and people are upset and they're demanding answers. Take a look.
Governor, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids losing the school.
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their homes. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one and building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be. Has to be. Of course.
What are you going to do?
I'm doing
to
everything
fill the hydrants. I would fill them up personally. You know that.
I literally have.
I would fill up the hydrants myself.
I would. I understand.
But would you do that?
I would do whatever I can.
But you're not. I see the. Do you know there's water dripping over there, Governor? There's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people are safe.
I'd like to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
Now, I find it fascinating that this woman asked, is it going to be different next time? And I'm saying, thinking there shouldn't be a next time, right? There should not be a next time for any of these Democrats, right? That's the problem. You people continue to vote for these Democrats believing that they're going to be better. Oh, no, we're going to be better. We're going to prevent this next time, even though they had plenty of opportunity. They knew that the winds were picking up over a week ago, right? They knew that this was a possibility, and they failed to prepare for this, okay? These wildfires happen every single year. They knew it was coming, and they failed to prepare, okay? But hey, you're not supposed to question the Democrats, according to liberal news outlets like MSNBC and CNN. You're not supposed to place the blame on them, right? Because it's a natural disaster, okay? And you're not supposed to play politics, okay? We talked about this earlier this morning, okay? When a natural disaster occurs, or any type of disaster, and Democrats are clearly to blame, oh, no, you can't criticize them, that's politics, okay? But when a mass shooting happens, then it's fair game to blame Republicans, okay? And every gun in this country for why the mass shooting happened. Or if there's a natural disaster like a hurricane that is coming towards a red state or hits a red state, it is totally fair to criticize a Republican governor for how they're handling the disaster. Like, for example, Ron DeSantis out in Florida, except they really don't have much room to criticize Ron DeSantis because he's always prepared. Every single time there's a hurricane that hits Florida, Florida does an amazing job of preparing for it and recovering, in which, again, that's why you don't really see criticisms of Ron DeSantis like you're saying of Democrats right now, because Republicans like Ron DeSantis actually know how to govern.
It's appropriate for the president-elect or a president to be criticizing.
Is it appropriate for people in your industry to try to create division and to try to create narratives anytime these things happen? Now, you're not as interested in doing that because Newsom is a D. If Newsom was a Republican, you guys would go you would have him nailed to the wall for what they're doing over there. And I know we've dealt with it. We just assume in Florida, anytime something happens, it's going to be politicized by the media. So you guys sitting in judgment of Donald Trump, I mean, excuse me, I think your track record of politicizing these things is very, very bad.
Okay, last question. Newsom should resign and that the wildfires are all his fault. So do you agree with those comments?
I remember when we had the Surfside Tower collapse, I had people from the Washington Post trying to blame me for it immediately without having any facts or anything. Oh, he didn't declare a state of emergency. First of all, state of emergency doesn't mean you can't respond. It's all that. Excuse me?
Biden did it. I think that's what you said.
Well, but what I'm telling you is you guys are trying to make an issue of it when I have watched from this seat. In fact, when I got elected governor, I was meeting with some of the other Republican governors, and what they would say is, hey, if you have a natural disaster, just know media's coming at you, they're going to do it. It's not the same. That mayor of L.A., if that were a Republican mayor, I could only imagine what that would do. I mean, you know the fires are at high risk, and you try to go to Africa or wherever she was to go on some type of voyage. You should have been there preparing and doing that, and yet I don't see a lot of heat being directed in that thing. And so, I'd like to see some balance on how this is done. You could criticize the president-elect, but I think you also have to hold these other people accountable, and I have not seen that.
Smart people and real journalists are actually coming out the woodwork to question Democrats, including the DEI mayor of Los Angeles that got elected primarily due to the fact that liberals and progressives seem to be more concerned about making history rather than competence, okay? And this lady clearly is in over her skis, okay? Watch as she gets confronted by a reporter at a press conference over the terrible job that she is doing presiding over these wildfires. Take a look.
Mayor, LA County is in a panic state. It began 2 days ago with the Palisades fire. My crew and I arrived shortly after it started, and for several hours we watched as hundreds of homes in a neighborhood burned to the ground. We did not see a single fire engine. We watched as Good Samaritans guided traffic. There was fear and there was a lot of confusion. You were out of the country at the time. Shortly after the fire started, a press release was put out warning of this fire behavior. My question to you is, what explains this lack of preparation and rapid response?
Let me just say, first and foremost, my number one focus, and I think the focus of all of us here with one voice, is that we have to protect lives, we have to save lives, and we have to save homes. Rest assured that when rest assured, let me finish. Rest assured, when that is done, when we are safe, when lives have been saved and homes have been saved, we will absolutely do an evaluation to look at what worked, what didn't work, and to correct or to hold accountable any body, department, individual, etc. But my focus right now is on the lives and on the homes.
Do you think your leadership was effective while responding to this disaster?
I just said what I believe is the most important thing for us to do right now, and that is going to continue to be my focus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, except that's not getting done, right? That is not getting done. You're definitely not saving any homes, okay? People are evacuating, and maybe that's saving lives, right? But yeah, you're definitely not saving homes. You're not saving property. Schools are burning down, and you're not containing the fire, right? All of these fires have 0% containment, right? As in, they are just raging out of control. There's literally nothing that the California officials can do about these wildfires, okay? They're just allowed to burn maybe into perpetuity. I don't know, okay? I mean, it could be another week, and all of LA could be burned to the ground at this rate. We really don't know at this point, okay? I'm hoping and praying that doesn't happen, but I'm here to tell you guys that the leadership of the Democrat Party is not inspiring any confidence that the situation is going to get better anytime soon, especially when you have things like this happening. Like, for example, an emergency alert accidentally being sent out on air telling all LA County residents to evacuate, which only increases panic. But again, this is what happened. An emergency alert was accidentally sent out telling people to evacuate. Take a look.
We're just mapping out here are under mandatory evacuations, and obviously you can hear all of our phones are going off some type of alert, an evacuation warning, it looks like.
Yeah, my alert reads, This is an emergency message from the LA County Fire Department. An evacuation warning has been issued in your area.
Yeah.
This is what this looks like.
Remain vigilant of any threats and be ready to evacuate. Gather loved ones, pets, and supplies. Continue to monitor local weather news and the webpage alertla.org for more information.
Yeah, so these alerts come, based on where you are.
It looks like on my phone.
Yeah, and here we are in West LA, and we're getting an alert. We'll have to look into why.
Yeah.
It would not be from what we're talking about right here up to the north.
Wow. That is Democrat leadership, guys. That is Democrat leadership, okay? At some point, right, the liberal media has to admit that incompetent people are running California and Los Angeles, right? Mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. I've lost track. So again, it's getting so bad that there are reporters out there that are asking the tough questions. They're saying, you know what? We have to confront the Democrats about their priorities, okay? Because it seems as if they are out of line. Like, for example, they seem to be more concerned about Trump and trying to Trump-proof California and dealing with Trump rather than the wildfire emergency, which is what one reporter confronted one of the leaders of the Democrats in California's state house about. Take a look.
I could take a couple of questions. I do have to jump on a call here in a few minutes.
With that, with what you just mentioned and kicked off here, is now the right time to have a special legislative session on allocating money to fight Trump in a way that you could already do without a special legislative session?
So I'm here to address these wildfires. This is a historic wildfire. This is a historic event. These wildfires, as I mentioned, are going to be quite possibly some of the worst wildfires and disasters in state and
but minutes ago,
in national history.
House, while this wildfire is happening, and while people are trying to understand what's going on and are worried about disaster relief, worried about the ability to get homeowners insurance, your chamber gavelled into a special legislative session to prepare for Donald Trump in a way that you are already able to do without a special legislative session. So again, is now the right time for that?
So certainly our focus right now is Speaker Ashley. At this moment, my colleagues and I, we are acting with great urgency to ensure that we're providing much needed relief to Angelenos, to ensure that we understand what it's going to take for this region to recover. and to support those that have been most impacted by this disaster. The response from our first responders has been unprecedented. And they're doing all that they can to control and contain, again, these multiple fires. They're doing whatever they can to ensure that that they're keeping people safe now, and again, in anticipation and in preparation for recovery. And as a state, as a legislature, we will do everything we can to support that recovery.
Yeah, so I think that CNN and Abby Phillip should probably take notes, right? People would probably watch CNN and MSNBC if they actually did real journalism and reporting, like what is happening seemingly on the ground in California, where you have some people that are actually trying to get answers from the Democrats, right? They're actually criticizing Democrats and going after them for the terrible job that they are clearly doing, okay? What you guys just saw there was Speaker of California's Assembly, Robert Rivers, who would not answer any of the questions from this reporter, okay, who was asking, is this the right time to have a special session to legally fight Donald Trump, right? Is this the time to do that? Because that's what they're wasting their time doing. They're wasting their time trying to fight Trump instead of fighting what they should be fighting, which are the wildfires, right? That's what they should be worried about. But no. We got to make sure that we push back against Trump. That is their main priority, guys. It is a damn shame what we're saying. Okay, I mean, I can't believe it, right? Actually, I can't believe it because I knew they were this incompetent. But damn, to get exposed like this, it is real bad. But again, nothing's going to change until people change their votes, okay? People in California, they have to wake up and realize that voting for these far-left progressive lunatics, especially for the dumbest reasons possible, like, for example, DEI, is not in their best interest, okay? And the worst part about this hasn't even begun, to be honest with you. I mean, it's pretty bad to have your house be burned down, okay, to lose everything. But imagine trying to rebuild with California's regulations. Damn near impossible, which is something that Adam Carolla pointed out, which is that, hey, when these residents try to rebuild because they don't want to go anywhere, okay, that part of Los Angeles is pretty nice, okay, and they're definitely going to want to rebuild their community. Yeah, good luck with that, considering all the regulations and red tape that Democrats put in place to prevent any type of real development from happening in that state. Take a look.
The guys who lost their $20 million homes on the ocean side of PCH will be knee-deep in the permit process. They will be trying to pull permits when the guys in the Winnebagos will have been back for months before those guys ever get a permit. As a matter of fact, good fucking luck, because here's the deal. Alan Hamill and Suzanne Summers moved because they could not get a permit to rebuild their home of 40 years on the ocean on PCH, right? So here's what's going to happen. Let me just give you guys a little primer of what's going to happen. You know how Bill Maher seems real conservative now when he's like arguing with Jane Fonda about regulations, too many regulations, like strangling everything? Because remember, when Bill Maher tried to put solar in his house in Beverly Hills, that's when he turned against the government, because he saw what the government and the overreach of government and overregulation does. He got strangled. It took him 3 years to build a solar shack. He had a whole countdown on his show, you know, day 1,000 since I've got my permit for my solar. He turned. Okay. The people who live in Malibu, who live in Santa Monica, who live in the Palisades, those are some of the most progressive blue voters in the world, or in the United States. They are a bastion of blue. So what those guys did is, all the people in the Palisades, I checked it out. It's about 80% blue, 80% progressive, 80% Democrat. Now, these are all sitting around crying about Karen Bass, water pressure, how come the forest wasn't cleared of all the brush, what's happening with the infrastructure. You guys all voted for Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. You all voted for Gavin Newsom. And now you fucking get what you get. Oh, now that your house is on fire, well, now you're thinking about something else. Now you want to know what's going on. What's going on around here? You didn't give a shit about what was going on when other people's houses were on fire, but now you care. So here's what's going to happen. All these people who were deep blue Democrats are now going to have to pull a permit to rebuild. And they're going to get the 28-year-old from the Coastal Commission telling them to go fuck off. And then they're going to vote for Trump or whoever's Trumpian next. You see, they're going to get turned. They're going to get turned hard because, as I've always said, live in the rent control apartment in Santa Monica, fine, good. We know how you vote. Go deal with the city. Try to pull a permit. These are going to be thousands of homes, super wealthy people, and these people don't want to live in Van Nuys. They like it where they are. They love Malibu. They love the Palisades. They love Santa Monica. There's going to be a whole bunch of rich people, and they're going to go, I'm rebuilding, and I want to rebuild as fast as I can. And between the part where they go in to the planning commission and plan check and initially and try to pull a permit to the time the first load of lumber, the first load of 2x4s is dropped off on their lot where their house formerly stood, it's going to be 3 years. And 1,000 permits and 1,000 arguments and 1,000 discussions with the Coastal Commission. They're going to go nuts. And when they start running into the bureaucracy and the red tape, they're going to start going nuts, and they're going to vote for Rick Caruso next time because they want to get. That's all Trump says is we're going to pull back the regulations. We're going to free people up. They're going to find out. They're going to get bit by their own snake. They're going to convert. I am telling you, these are the bluest people on the planet, and they're going to be fucking ripshit pissed when the city and the Coastal Commission tell them to fuck off. And by the way, I don't think the Coastal Commission is going to okay anyone rebuilding any of their houses on the coast because they say they're in the business of protecting the coast. They're in the business of getting you to leave. They will get their wish, which is no buildings. And they're going to make it hard for everyone. And then we're going to have to restructure the whole thing because we can't have 9 angry lesbians controlling everything that goes on in Malibu, the Palisades, and Santa Monica.
Yeah, so let's hope that's the case, right? As I always say, the best way to red pill a leftist, progressive, Democrat, just give them what they want. Give them exactly what they voted for. They voted for all these regulations. They voted for Democrats to ignore forest management, to put the lives of endangered fish over the American people, to not make sure that there is water available to fight fires. Yeah, they voted for that, right? And see, when it didn't affect them, when it was affecting other people, they didn't give a damn, right? They stood on their progressive high horse, okay, virtue signal, and still voted Democrat. That's exactly what they did. Now, all of a sudden, when it's affecting them and they have to go through the process of dealing with what they voted for, yeah, that's how they get red pill. And it's a damn shame that it has to happen this way every single time. Why is it that people have to deal with the consequences of woke, lunatic, progressive policies before they realize that these policies don't work, that these policies are bad? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It should be common sense. Should be common sense. But unfortunately, progressivism, liberalism, the modern day Democrat Party is antithetical to common sense, especially in California, okay? Which is why they're in this situation. They should have voted for Rick Caruso in the last mayor election. The choice was clear. Even Chank from TYT saw that, oh, wait, Rick Caruso is clearly the better candidate. The moderate Democrat is clearly the better candidate. No, they voted for the woke black woman. And look what you got. And no, we can't criticize it. No, that's racist, right? It's bigotry to criticize her and to ask whether or not she is competent enough to do this job, even though she clearly isn't. So, hey, this is what they're stuck with. We're going to see if this changes anything. I highly doubt it with some of these people, right? They'll still end up voting Democrat, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe, this is what has to happen in order for people to wake up and to see that, hey, these Democrats, they're really, really, really bad at governing. They can't govern at all. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.